real quick, Madison, in Federalist number 52, a representative of the United States must be at the age of 25 years, must have been 7 years of service in the United States, must at the time of his election be an inhabitant of the state he is to represent, and during the time of his service must be in no office in the United States. Under these reasonable limitations, the door of this part of the federal government is open to merit of every description, whether native or adopted, whether young or old, and without regards to poverty or wealth, or to any profession of religious faith. One more. Last one, in 57, he went on to say, who are the electors of the federal representatives? Not the rich more than the poor. Not the learned more than the ignorant. Not the haughty heirs of distinguished names more than the humble sons of obscure and unpropitious fortune. The electors are to be the great body of the people of the United States. They are to be the same who exercise the right in every state of electing the corresponding branch of the legislature of the state.
Yes.
Who are they the objects of popular choice? Every citizen whose merit may recommend him to the esteem and confidence of his country. No qualification of wealth, of birth, of religious faith, or civil profession is permitted to fetter the judgment or disappointment the inclination of the people. Bottom line is, I am no more qualified than everyone else in this room. Don't ever stop to think that the people that you send to office are any better than any one of you. And at that point, I believe I'm out of time and I'm about to be smoked. So we'll open it up to questions. Yes, sir.
I found it interesting your take on the compensation of our representatives in Washington. I personally have thought for some time that perhaps a better solution would be to have our representatives' compensation determined by and paid by the states that they represent. That way it keeps them closer to home. If they do a good job, they'll be compensated fairly. If they do a bad job, they'll get their compensation cut. So what do you think about that?
That being, it's actually an excellent question. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, I read something about Madison. It's where I got that as well. And he had a really good reason why it should be paid at the federal level. However, I don't think it was expected to be paid at the amounts that it's being paid today. In fact, in the Constitution, it actually says that Congress will meet at least once a year. Anybody know why that's in there? Because they didn't think they'd come back. They figured they only had 18 things to do. They logged in the book and came home. So, in answer to your question, I wouldn't mind looking at it to see whether it made a difference, but I would have to go back to the Federalist Papers and see the founding fathers' argument on why it should be done. Yes, sir. I'm sorry, what did I do?
I'm not so sure I fully agree with that legislative solution. My concern would be taking salaries or compensation to the budget. Might build into the budget an artificial stimulus to be excessive. And so you would end up with a budget that's higher than it should be, so that you'll definitely have high probability of meeting it.
Oh, so you're smarter than I am, because I would have figured that out until I was But no, that's a good point. But we have to start somewhere. And the question is, would I be able to go out there? I mean, I'll have a hard enough time pushing this one through.
Repeat the question.
Oh, I'm sorry. His question was, if you add in the fiscal responsibility bill, that what it would do is give us an incentive as to push the budget up so high so we always run under. So, I'm sorry, did you have a follow-up?
No, that's pretty much what I see it.
And that's a good point. And the problem that I foresee is if this is the first step, where we go from there?
I think it'd be better replacing that initiative with an initiative to eliminate all the earmarks.
Oh, well, and that actually helps with the one subject at a time.
That's right.
Point of order.
Yes.
There is a law now in Congress that requires them to spend more than they spent last year.
Ooh, we have to repeal that one right off the bat.
Now, that's just
Right. I'm sorry, before I go over here, there was no one that could.
I applaud you for being a strict constitutionalist. With that being said, though, would you be willing to appeal the amendment that grants the power for the electors to elect the state or the senators for each state and give that power back to state legislatures?
16th Amendment?
Yes.
Yeah, in fact, I would be in favor of that because I believe the way the Constitution was written, it was set up so that there were two branches of the legislature. One was to represent the people, and I think it's pretty plain which one that one is, and the other one was there to represent the states and to look out for states' rights. And I don't think you'd have half the bills that are going through, and I can guarantee you wouldn't have 5 Supreme Court justices all from New York. You have senators who are up there looking out for the state.
All right.
Sorry, Larry.
Come see us at break.
Salaries that they collect. We should stop them from voting their own raises.
Do you know, in fact, the last amendment that went in says that even if I went up there and I voted to have myself a raise, it could not take effect until after I leave office. Or is it until after I get reelected? It's after the next election cycle. So, anybody who does that, take them out.
Okay. Come see us at break.
I guess we're done, so thank you so much. One last thing before you guys go on break. I brought this up to show everyone. I got this painting from one of my supporters who's up in Newcastle County. We were up at the Founders Value. The lady that painted this for me has rheumatoid arthritis and lupus. She painted this the night before I came up, and she came up, bless her heart, with her aunt, who was also wasn't feeling well. They came all the way out from, I want to say Newcastle, out to Newark, which isn't that far, but in the shape she was in, she just wanted to make sure I got this, and bless her heart, and you know what? This is not over my desk when I get to Washington, and there is no way that I can do